Fearless podcast. We're here covering the event for domestic violence. We're at the Chop House and we're here with one of the owners, Stratus.
Thank you. Well, my history is I founded two well-known restaurants called Philipe Chow and Julon Club. My current partner at the Brooklyn Chop House is Don Pooh Cummings, who we met as a customer. I used to feed him, and that's how we became friends. And through friends, we decided after 10 years of friendship, I came up with a different idea than what I created at Philipe and Julon Club. It was basically combining, the classic Chinese dishes of what people know me for, and then marrying it with an American steakhouse. And then on the reverse of that, I took all the deli sandwiches that, with my Greek diner background, I converted them into dumplings. So the pastrami, the French onion soup, the Philly cheesesteak, the Reuben, the bacon cheeseburger are all now dumplings.
Wow.
So you wrap that all up, that's the Brooklyn Chop House concept. I'm playing on the word chop. Chop could be chopsticks or chopsteak.
Like chopped cheese and all that, those things.
Yeah, so chop has a double meaning for us.
Wow, I didn't even know that. But I'm getting hungry. So, but did you ever think that you would have a customer? Because that part of the story really inspired me. Like someone that just, is a constant customer in the store, and then you build that friendship. Did you ever feel like that would be somebody you end up partnering with? And
it's amazing. I never say, I never second guess how partnerships create. I've been in some of the greatest partnerships. I've been in some of the worst partnerships. And you know what? When you look at some of my worst partnerships, you thought it started off as, wow, how did this great energy happen?
Right.
And things go sour. It's just
how the universe works.
Yeah. There's no blueprint on a successful partnership. I do believe that when everybody does what they're good at and stays focused in their lane, that usually helps in making a successful partnership.
So when did you get into food though? Like when did you know that was your passion?
Oh, I'm third generation. I mean, I grew up, my dad had about 14 restaurants and diners in the New York area. My grandfather had restaurants. So, I grew up in this industry. So since 18 years old, I've owned my own restaurants or nightclubs or anything to do with hospitality.
Did you ever feel like for a moment that you would probably stray from that? Almost to be like rebellious maybe?
No. The rebellion was I left my dad's business when I was 20.
Oh, okay.
So 30 years later, I've been on my own for 30 years.
Okay. Was it hard for you to start off the business?
From the outside looking in, everybody thinks it's hard, but this is all I know.
Okay.
This is what I do.
Okay.
So it comes as an instinct to me,
and
like a sixth sense. But I always tell people that don't know that industry or people that are not outsiders that want to get in the restaurant business, I tell them put their money in mutual funds.
Right.
It's just, unless you breathe, eat, and sleep it, it's an industry you really don't want to, dabble in.
Yeah, because I know most people, they want to start opening a restaurant mainly, and then it's like, that monster in itself becomes too much for them.
It has to be a way of life.
Yeah.
And if it's just because you think it sounds glorious, it's not.
Right.
If you're not prepared to get on your hands and knees and scrub floors and, preparation and, and show your staff that you can do every job from washing dishes to writing a check. If you can't do all that, then this is not a business for you. People think, it's glamorous because you were catering to celebrities and we're walking around a dining room and it's got a great vibe and wow, what a great career. Yeah, well, they don't know what happens to get to that point. You're sitting in a basement somewhere counting, doing inventory and making sure that the floors are clean and, it's not as glamorous as what people think. And the ones that choose to go in this industry for the glamour of it usually fail.
Right. So, one question we usually do ask is what keeps you motivated? Because was there ever a point where you did get discouraged, knowing how much groundwork you have to put in first, and then what kept you going after?
No, I always love to create. I think with the Brooklyn Chop House, what we're doing now is a menu that far exceeds whatever I did at Philipe and the other restaurants that I created. I feel like those were like elementary school, and this is like Harvard grad.
Wow.
So and people say, wow, who wrote this menu? The menu's incredible. And I say the customer wrote the menu. I just put it on paper. Because you listen to the customer, and that usually is a good starting point on achieving a successful restaurant.
So what inspired you most is pretty much the customer base?
Yeah, well, the customer base, you listen through the years, and they'll say, hey, you know what? we'd love to have a dry aged steak. We're tired of having, or people say, I'm tired of going to an American steakhouse where it's cream of spinach, baked potato, and a shrimp cocktail, which I do love, but we don't need another one.
Right.
And then the fish and the lobster seems like an afterthought.
Right.
Where with the Brooklyn Chop House, you get that 40-day, 50-day dry-aged porterhouse steak like you find in Peter Luger and the rest of the top steakhouses, because we use the same provider, same supplier, and the same stoves. But then you marry it with a Peking duck and chicken sautés and lettuce wraps and salt and pepper lobster. All of a sudden, the porterhouse is not really just the star; it's just a co-star.
Right. So, what is your favorite dish here?
Well, it's hard to say. I like to do it by category, because it's hard to compare a shrimp with a lobster and a lobster with a chicken. But
so for someone like me that actually is allergic to seafood, what would you suggest?
Oh, I mean, the Peking duck is incredible. Our 40-day dry-aged steaks are amazing. And then if you wanted to come with like just 1 or 2 people, we do Peking duck tacos, chicken sautés, and like I've reversed all the sandwiches into dumplings. All the small plates here is a lot of fun. Pastrami dumpling, the Reuben dumpling, the bacon cheeseburgers are dumpling. It's a lot of fun with a lot of small plates. And of course the chicken sauté, which has been famous for 30 years. I could not put that on the menu. I have to always have that on the menu.
So what's the gem that you could drop for someone that is trying to get into this industry because they have a passion for food and they have a passion for junk food?
They have to learn from the bottom. If their resume doesn't include dishwashing, preparation, bartending, waitering, busboy, bus service, busser, barback, host, hostess, prep cook. If it doesn't have that in your resume, I totally tell them not to come near this industry. Because if you don't know every facet of this industry, there's just too many ways to fail.
So once you did start working with celebrities, did you ever think to ever branch off into maybe doing private chefs and things like that?
Well, all my restaurants, all my chefs have done private events. I mean, we've done private events from Jay-Z to LeBron to Upper East Side, lower financial district CEOs of Fortune 100 companies. We do a lot of that.
What inspired you guys to do this particular event, to be able to give back to these women that have been doing?
Well, I have 3 daughters. I have 50 first cousins. 40 are girls, female. So I've been surrounded by female all my life, and it's something that, I'm extremely passionate about giving back.
Yeah.
And if this is a very small token, I don't even think this even goes on the radar of giving back. This is nothing. This comes very easy for us. We always want to do a lot more. And listen, what good of having a successful restaurant if you can't make your community just a little bit better?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm sure they're grateful. I'm even grateful. Thank you for your time.
This is nothing. We can do so much more.
Yeah. Thank you for your time again, guys. Make sure you follow us at LethalNutsPodcast.com. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, thank you all for coming, and we're excited about the opening of what we're doing here at Brooklyn Chop House.
Yeah, make sure you guys come to check this out. Take 3 train like I did, get off at Fulton, and come to the Brooklyn Chop House. All right.
Thank you.